Kia ora guys and welcome back to the Black Jersey. This week I've been very busy with sharing my thoughts on the squads for the 2024 Six Nations. My name's Max and for today I'm sharing my thoughts on the Irish squad. The All Blacks probably had their best performance of the Ian Foster era, knocking the Irish out of the 2023 Rugby World Cup, and the credit to Andy Farrell has to be given here. He's not just throwing the towel at a lot of these experienced players, he's going to give a lot of these guys a shot at redemption after taking what would have been a really hard loss after the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Became the first time in history they actually turned up for a quarter-final and would have won the game if not for a winning turnover from Sam Whitelock. The Irish squad that Andy Farrell has named is absolutely brilliant. Not a single uncapped player as well. This is going to give them a huge advantage. I want to say as well before the video starts, a big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. You guys are absolutely awesome. First off, for the Irish squad, I'm now going to share my thoughts on the hookers, and I think it's probably a bit of a respectable call to get Rob Herring phased out of the team for now and just give Tom Stewart as much experience as possible building over to 2027. There's so many experienced players in the squad, so I think Ronan Kelleher and Dan Sheehan, both having got over 20 test caps now, they can both play well enough and kind of harness their own ability to get them going further onwards. Ronan Kelleher trained with the British and Irish Lions in 2021, has had a few injury troubles, but I'm hoping he's going to get a good run of game time. Dan Sheehan, probably going to be one of Ireland's greatest ever hookers. Whichever one of these two starts, you can take your pick, and Tom Stewart, I just hope he gets a good deal of game time as well, having played just 2 test caps. Finlay Beelham's having a really good run of form as well, so it's great to see that he's alphabetically the first of the front row as the props. Tyke Furlong as well, really starting to get a lot of experience with his 79 test caps, 2 British and Irish Lions tours, 3 World Cups now. He's still going, which is great to see. Cian Healy, he really cruelly missed the World Cup last year as well. Wasn't able to play in that number 1 or number 17 jersey, so I'm happy he's going to get his redemption and finally get to go out as an Irish legend by playing one last Six Nations championship. Jeremy Loughlin, who replaced him for the 2023 Rugby World Cup, awesome man as well. I've met him before. He is a very, very talented player, so I'm glad he hasn't been discarded after his 4 test caps. Tom O'Toole seems to be the next big thing for the tight head props. He's been in and out of the squad for a wee while now with 12 test caps, and Andrew Porter squashing a lot of weights, really ready to get his redemption. He's got a lot of fury in his eyes. I think he's going to have a massive tournament. The locks. Ryan Beard and Joe McCarthy really are shaping up to be the successors to Tiger Byrne and Ian Henderson, who are both in their 30s. Byrne will reach his 50th test cap for the Irish during the Six Nations. He's played 48, which includes his British and Irish Lions tour from 2021. Ryan Beard, I think, is shaping up as a really, really nice prospect, and Joe McCarthy, he had an absolute shocker in that quarterfinal against the All Blacks, so I'm happy that Andy Farrell hasn't just broken his self-belief completely and he's going to give him another shot after just 5 test caps. This is exactly how you coach your players. You say it's okay to make mistakes and you show them belief. It's awesome to see. James Ryan, though, I thought the guy was going to be the captain. I'm very perplexed to see him not given the captaincy. 59 test caps, he's 27 as well, really shaping up to captain the Lions, but it appears that although Ian Henderson is in the mix as well to fight for that captaincy, it has gone to Peter O'Mahony. Is O'Mahony going to overstay his welcome though? We have yet to find out. He's long been looked at as a future Irish captain though. I genuinely believed that after Joe Schmidt would retire from the Irish and hand it over to Farrell, that Farrell would hand O'Mahony the Irish captaincy for 2020, but maybe O'Mahony is going to follow in the footsteps of Rory Best and Johnny Sexton, and maybe he will play his last test at 37 in the 2027 Rugby World Cup. He was born in 1989, so this is going to be very interesting to see. He's a great player though, played 102 tests. Hopefully he can do well with the captain's armband. Jack Conan as well, going to cover number 8 again. Going to be very good to see him using his explosivity off the bench. He's starting to become a real staple of this Irish team with his versatility. Kalen Doris as well. Epic to see him in the squad. He is a world-class player. I don't think I have to say much more about him, do I? He's been absolutely amazing over the last few years. There's a reason I put him on the bench for my World 15 of 2023. Nick Timoney as well, three test caps. I was a bit surprised he didn't go to the 2023 Rugby World Cup to give them a bit of an extra option at open side there, but Josh van der Fleer, I think he's going to be very relieved that he doesn't have to do everything at 7 all on his own. Former World Player of the Year, he's going to play most of the minutes, but it's just nice that he can go to training and have that other option in the mix. Craig Casey, another one of the Irish players that I've met, he is a very, very good prospect for Munster at scrum half. I potentially believe that they're going to have a Casey and Crowley combination for 9 and 10. This one's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out because Jamison, Gibson, Park and Connor Murray, the real veterans of the spine, they are still in the mix. Gibson Parks played 30 tests and was also robbed of an All Black cap, while Connor Murray is the greatest Irish scrum half of all time, having played 120 tests, having gone on 3 Lions tours as well, captaining the Lions in 2021 when Alan Wynne-Jones wasn't available due to a short-term injury. Harry Byrne is also in the mix for first 5 fly half. He played 2 tests in 2021. I was a bit gushed to see him get discarded, so I'm very happy that he's coming back into the mix now. Kieran Frawley, very versatile, 26 years old, 1 test cap. I think that he probably fits the bill to be coming off the bench wearing jersey 22, just providing that utility cover with Jimmy O'Brien, I believe, injured potentially. The midfielders, great to see the names in this midfield as well. Bundy Aki and Robbie Henshaw, the experienced heads. Awesome that Bundy Aki isn't retiring and is signed on for one more Lions tour. Robbie Henshaw hasn't quite had his best form of the last 2 years, but hopefully he can really show some of his best form with, well, Frawley probably in jersey 22, himself jersey 23. Stuart McCloskey, they could have probably done with a younger midfielder instead of him, but he's still very good at organising the defence, so I don't have a huge problem with him being in the team. And Gary Ringrose, though, this is a problem that I'm starting to get a bit sick of. I know that a lot of the Irish fans, they really rate his attacking capabilities. They believe he's a good defender. I know that they use a bit of a cover defence, so he doesn't necessarily have to be accurate as a tackler, but for his tackle percentage to be constantly below 70% for so many years in a row, they do need to find a 13 that can genuinely defend and not just miss the ones that aren't involved with the cover defence strategy. This is something that Ireland are going to have to look at for a few years. On from I guess my commentary on the Ringrose defence, we find Jordan Lama's also got a recall and he cannot defend either. I know Lama's a living highlight reel, but I do have some concerns about Ireland's defensive strategies coming into this Six Nations. Well, it's all well and good to have the one guy and the cover defence is built around Ringrose. When you have wingers who can't really provide in the backup in the same way that Mac Hansen would have if he was available if not for injury, it paints a bit of a dodgy picture. James Lowe, he can do a decent job on defence, so I'm hoping that he retains the 11 jersey and keeps it away from Jacob Stockdale, who was correctly left out of the World Cup squad for defensive reasons. Maybe Stockdale is just being looked at as a genuine fullback cover should Hugo Keenan not play and get injured. I do think, though, if Keenan remains fit, if he stays in the squad, he's probably a good shout for player of the tournament. And Calvin Nash, the final name, he had a really good test debut last year, so I'm hoping he gets a bit more of a go. Maybe he could get a hat-trick or so against Italy, but yes, to conclude everything, Hugo Keenan could be a good shout for player of the tournament. Overall, I think it's a really, really good squad. There's a lot of experience, which I think is quite nice for the 3 young 10s in particular. That's the one area that's going to be very interesting to see. It could be a bit of a battle for that jersey, but I'm suspecting Craig Casey and Jack Crowley, they are going to be the long-term combo. It's starting to get a bit more of a Munster feel, this Irish team, after they won the URC last season. I think they could do pretty well. I'm just not 100% sure whether I think they're going to come first, second or third. The Six Nations is going to be unbelievably competitive, so make sure before the tournament starts to watch my video doing a bit of a preview for everybody. I think Ireland are looking very good, and I will see you guys in the next video. After you just remember to subscribe down below, like the video and comment on it if you enjoyed today's upload. Cheers for watching. Thank you so much from Max.